Hello, good morning. Guten Tag. Sawubona. Igama lami Anele uMachokoza Mhlanga kuvela indlela ukhusha uthahla unyawuze indodakazi kaTholize kaMantini. And welcome to Rural Living and Innovation episode 1. So what is this episode about? I wrote notes. I decided I'm going to write notes for these things. So in this episode, I want to talk about rural innovation more than I want to talk about rural living. Like, ayekho umuntu odinga ukuchazela ngokuthi siphila kanjani emakhaya, but I think umuntu engashare ukuthi how you can make rural living like more enjoyable for yourself, or how you can improve your quality of life in the rurals. Yeah, that's a more in-depth conversation. But in this episode, I'm going to talk about rural innovation, why it exists and has to be separate from like innovation in general, and also how like rural innovation is currently funded. In the introductory episode 0, I talked about a little bit about rural innovation being self-funded, and then in this episode I'm going to talk a bit more about it. I'm hoping to keep this episode around 10 minutes. I had a hard time recording the other episode, uploading the other episode. These YouTube gurus don't tell you about how long it'll actually take to upload a video and how long a recommended length is, so we're still experimenting. So for me, and everything that I say on this podcast or YouTube channel as my opinion. Some of it is facts and research, but like most of it is my opinion. Yeah, I feel like I shouldn't have to say that in the introduction of every episode, but like this is my opinion. 1, 2. So what is rural innovation for me? It's like any method of doing things that is new or like isn't traditional in that space, that helps improve the quality of life or the way of doing things. Like it makes things efficient, it makes things like easier in any way, like time consuming, or like just ease. It's just integrated into other processes. So in the rural context, like rural innovation is shaped by the Land Act, which means like we wouldn't be like in this context. For me, I don't think I would be in this context if it weren't for like the first removals. And part of the reason why the rurals have continued is because like resources are pulled to where the people are in Tandoyeningi, majority rules. Excuse me. So like resources are pulled to where the most people are, and oftentimes rural communities or populations don't have a lot of people, so it will often be like under maybe 10,000. I don't think there's 10,000 people here. So because there's not a lot of people, there's not a lot of resources from the government space that are pulled into the space. There isn't any structured plan to develop the community or the infrastructure in the community. So because of that, rural innovation is self-funded. Any improvements that are happening in the space are happening because of the people that are in the space, either the people that are advocating for the space in other spaces, or just people themselves using their money to like fix the road, those kinds of things. But there's no opportunities in the rurals like to make money. Okay, let me not say that, because I don't actually believe that. There are opportunities to make money in the rurals. The infrastructure to support that isn't there. So how do people make money to like fund, like say, a mall? How do you move from a tuck shop to a mall in the rural, um, without bringing in big money and big tech like that would then make the space inaccessible and unaffordable to us? And for me, I think in the past, like people who used to work in the past, remote working was not that you were working online or digitally. Remote working was you were working away from home. You didn't have any living expenses like rent and like food and stuff like that. Like if you were a soldier, yabo, abantu abakanjalo, if you're a soldier, you were away from home, all your income you could just like send home. And if you had like a smart wife or a smart people at home support system, those people would then use that money to build a house, start a business. Like you come back, when you come back, you've got a butchery like, happening kind of things, and then you can retire early. Um, and then there are like businesses who went from like tuck shop to like a big thing. I don't know how like spaces like Quamex and what's the other one? Eatin. Like I'd be interested to find out like how those spaces like develop, because in some ways townships are rural. I don't know if that's okay to say, but it's my opinion. So if you're in a township and you're able to like create like a luxury, like or a lifestyle experience, like how do they do it? And I think they've done it successfully. So it would be interesting to find out. But like right now, as the youth, I think working online is one of the ways that we can do it. Like there are ways that you can improve the internet or the signal in your sport. Like you can buy equipment. It like it's a bit expensive, but you can get equipment. You can get like a power banks. You can get a generator. You can get. There are ways to support yourself in the rural context so that you can work online and you are able to deliver like consistently, despite the fact that the resources, the infrastructural resources to support that are limited, and even in the community they are limited. But like because there isn't a structured way of doing things, it presents an opportunity to like create ways of thinking and doing. And that's why I think rural innovation matters, really matters right now, because it can be a way of thinking and doing things in the rural context, in a way of thinking and doing things where there are limited resources, both people and actual like infrastructure, like roads. We've still got a rural road. Our water sometimes goes on and off. Electricity is more fucked up than it is in like Glenwood, for example. Um, so how do we make a like sustainable work environments and sustainable living environments in that context? And because of all of those things, I think there's an incredible opportunity to shape the space, but it requires a lot of money. Like it's taken me a year to build a one room. If you thought building was easy, like it's taken me a year to like properly build a one room. Like my roof is not sealed yet, it's not soundproofed yet. My floor is just painted, and like I'm even scared to think about how much I've spent overall. And if you look at it, there's not much that has been done there, but I've invested personally a lot into making the space what it is right now. And I have hopes of it becoming like a proper like innovation hub. But right now it is just a one room, and I'm trying to extend it into like a one room with a bathroom. Um, yeah, so people sometimes can go and walk abroad and then they save money and then they come back and they do things with it. Other people, like that's one thing that's possible also now, is that you can make things in the rural at a much lower cost if you have the skills and resources, and then you can sell it online, you know. Um, but that's not everyone that's able to do that. So for those people that are on this channel and are able to do that, like we should do that. Like there is no like, why should somebody take a taxi all the way to town to get internet to type a CV just because they can't afford like a 6,000 rand computer? So there are like say 20 people in this space that do have computers. Can those people rent those computers out at a fee for people to use and type and get like technical skills? Can somebody else rent a space out to those 10 people to put their computers and like rent it out to people typing CVs. Can like somebody who has like who used to work at a pizza shop like open use their hut as a kitchen and then have an oven outside, and then serve pizza in the rurals, like so, like can we just get like ready-made food that isn't just like amakwenya and chicken dust basically. um we don't even have a chicken dust. So for me, like real innovation is about those things. It's about not only the things that we need to survive, like water and housing and food and stuff, and we're innovating around those things also. So like there's more on that to share. As you can see the greenery around me, um but also from just like a funding perspective, how do we make it happen? Why isn't it happening? And what are some of the things that like one can do to like make life not even just enjoyable, enviable from the rules? Because like when city girls are out, like it's okay to admit like we're envious. A part of me is envious and I like the city experience. A part of me likes the city experience, but like also like I really enjoyed the rural experience. It's just not like infrastructure and community is just like sometimes lacking. So like how can we like, for me it's like how can we do more to like just make it good for ourselves and good for other people to come here and spend their money here essentially, so that we don't have to, we only go outside of the space because we want to, not because we have to. um yeah, I hope that was like some kind of structured rambling, and it wasn't like too much to send you away from this channel. I hope it was just enough to keep coming back for another episode, and I hope the next episode will be even better. So thank you for watching and see you next time.